This should be a good one. Asking bankers how to cope with the cost of living crisis. I'm definitely sure 100% that this will not make me extremely angry, but I'll be interested to see like how vastly removed from the lives of everyday people the kind of the upper echelons of society are. So it'll be interesting to see just how far removed they are by watching this clip. And I've explicitly avoided watching clips of this on TikTok, so this will be an actual first time reaction to this. Thank you for the follow, Real Red Home. Welcome to the No Justice stream. I hope you're doing well.
Well, it does make me laugh when people do feel the pinch that they've got Sky. Well, it does make me laugh when people do feel the pinch that they've got Sky TV, they smoke.
Oh yes, of course. You may have have to pay £800 in rent and £500 in gas and electric, and then an additional like £200 or something on food. But that extra £15 you're paying for Sky, or the extra £7.99 you're paying for Netflix. That's really where the money's really coming from. If you just cut the avocado toast out of your diet, kids, you can afford £500 worth of energy bills each month.
They drink.
Cancel Netflix, cancel your subscription.
You're going to have to be earning £60,000-70,000.
I work in finance.
Do you work in Canary Wharf or are you just here for...
I actually work in the city.
Yeah, I work in technology in the bank.
Yeah, I work in finance as well. I work in the building behind.
But do I like my job? No, I prefer to be in academia, but it doesn't pay.
Do you guys enjoy working in finance?
Yes.
Obviously, London's getting more expensive. It's expensive to stay anyway.
Yeah, it is.
What would you think would be kind of the minimum amount you earn to kind of enjoy London?
Probably a package around 80 or 90,000.
80,000 if you're
That is literally quadruple what I earn.
single.
You're going to have to be earning £60,000-70,000.
Probably even
Oh
80,000
no, he's gone for just triple what I earn. Oh, okay.
might not cut it because I also want to save as well for like future and stuff. So I think like minimum of like 100 should be there.
These days, I'd say probably.
And these are the people who vote Tory, right? These are the people who literally do not understand what it's like to be a poor person in this country. Like, come on, like if you are a person who is on like the breadline who's watching this, and you may watch this in future, I know, on TikTok or something. If I post a clip up and you think, okay, well, I'm not really interested in this. I'm not really interested in politics. These guys are interested in politics. Your landlord is interested in politics. The boss of the company that you work for, they're interested in politics, and that's why the Tories are allowed to be in power and set policy prescriptions that are against your interests. Because you're not interested in politics, they don't have to appeal to you. So they appeal to the people who you have diametrically opposed interests with. The people who are already living comfortable lives on 80, 90, 100k a year. They all get their opinions listened to, and yet you're there having to pay extra for your rent, extra for your bills, extra for your food, and the government won't do anything to help you because, quote unquote, you're not interested in politics. Maybe you should be.
£40,000-50,000 a year is probably will give you a disposable income to be able to enjoy yourself as well as cover your general expenses.
Have you had to make any sacrifices in your life to do cost of living?
Listen, I don't know badly.
I'm already trying to sort of cut back a bit anyway. I've got a wedding coming up on this year. So.
That's maybe a different cost of living crisis.
Exactly, yeah.
The size of Twix is like half the size it was 2 years ago.
Oh, I have to buy an extra Twix on my £80,000 pay packet. I'm so sad.
Twice the price.
I just managed to secure a flat, and it's a one-bed flat in Canary Wharf, and it's $2,400 a month, which is just mad.
We're not going abroad, which is very much a first world problem, but it is our problem.
Actually, I just put an offer in for a flat, but I've been working for a couple of years.
Congratulations.
So that's how I saved. But my mom has paid, I'd say, 60% of my deposit.
Okay.
I think.
Every fucking time, without fucking fail. Millennial homeowner article, millennial homeowner expose. Oh yeah, I worked really hard. I have my huge amount of money that I worked for. I did save for a couple of years, and then also my parents gave me loads of money. The small loan of $1 million every single fucking time without fail.
My electricity bill went up by about 2/3. It was ridiculous. So yeah, because so many bills went up, I had to leave.
Is there anything you think people who are feeling the pinch, do you think there's anything they could be doing to
Well,
offset
it does make me laugh when people do feel the pinch that they've got Sky TV.
The pros want access to the bare extra qualities of life that cost like literally fucking 15% the price. of the rest of the bills that they have to pay. Like, not sorry, 1.5%, sorry, of the price of all of the rest of the stuff they have to pay for that are necessities, right? How about you just work forever? Go, if you don't, if the proles, right? If the proles wanted to, you know, if they have all of these bills, but they still have Netflix, why don't you go to the workhouse, make yourself useful? Is it your own fault that you're not pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? Fuck off.
Smoke, they drink. You know, I don't mind everyone having a drink or whatever. But Sky,
Cancel Netflix, cancel your subscriptions. I used to pay for a gin membership, so every 3 months I'd get like a gin box sent to me in the mail, just because I like gin, not an alcoholic.
Oh yeah, clearly the proles should stop their gin obsession by cancelling all of the extra bottles of posh gin they get delivered to their house. Fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. Just fuck off.
The classic advice kind of given to
You're not gonna get any actual political analysis on this stream today. It's just gonna be me mocking these things, the identical things these people are saying in a funny voice, which is the biting political analysis I know you all come to this channel for.
People is give up avocado and toast, give up Netflix, give up Spotify. What do you make of stuff like that?
It's pretty short-sighted. I think it's very easy for older generations to point to the younger generation and say we should need to give up this, this and this, but the fact is our cost of living is considerably higher and wages, comparative to wages, is a lot lower, and living costs and rent and certainly housing prices are considerably higher than they have to deal with. So it's easy for them to say, but unfortunately it's not.
They interviewed someone who's not a fucking moron. Wow, I can't believe it. Yeah, most poor people who watch Netflix use login for a friend true, or they just watch it on 123 movies, which I do not recommend doing. This is not a recommendation, this is just a statement of fact that they use 123 movies. Or Putlocker, that's another thing that they would use, theoretically, in the video game Minecraft.
Not quite that, it's not quite that easy, is it?
I don't think people should stop living life the way they want to live their life because of like the prices going up.
I think it's advice given by people who don't feel any of the effects of the cost of living crisis. It's an easy thing to say, it's an easy headline to make as well. I mean, you know, giving up the £9.
So it explicitly pushes the burden of changing the issue onto the individual whose fault that it is not, right? Where changing economic circumstances, money gets hoovered up into the pockets of the shareholders of Centrica or of BP or Shell, right? These people who are the ones who are again at the are at the end of causing the issues, right? It's all downwind of them desiring extra profits at the expense of the rest of society. By turning our fingers upon individuals rather than the system itself, you give the system a free pass, right? I say this all the time. It's all manufacturing consent. It's all, you know, creating those kind of assumed, apportioning blame in an assumed manner, always towards any kind of individual rather than blaming any of the strings or the incentive structures that lead us to this place in the first place.
Netflix subscription, it's not going to make a difference to your £200 petrol bill in your car. It's not going to make a difference to your, you know, £300 food shop. It's just easy advice to flippantly give.
I always say it is what it is until it isn't, and I think.
No worries, Radom. You take care of yourself.
Right now it is what it is, but you know, I always think one day, I think of my future and I think one day it will be better. That's what I think.
Do you think that either of the Tory candidates to be Prime Minister will be able to deal with this?
I think Rishi Sunak had the opportunity to do so. I don't know how much he was restricted by the government that he was working with, that he was part of, that he is part of.
you know, the government's been asked to give people money, which they did during the pandemic, and that, you know, I guess that was the right thing to do. I don't think the right thing to do was shut down the economy because of the pandemic at all.
Sacrifice yourself for the line. The red line must go up. You must appease the great line, unwashed proles. If you do not appease the line, then that is bad. Because line go up equals more gooder. So therefore you must sacrifice yourself and your lives to protect the great line, lest we make the line angry. Because if the line is angry, that is no bueno.
Just a lot of political errors, and we're paying the price for it now. It's virtually what, you know, we've got a war debt. And I think, if you want to get political, I think Liz Truss is correct. We should
Yes, because you've not been political up to this point at all, talking about rising bills and the kind of things that poor people should go without to be able to survive, and talking about issues to do with policy during the pandemic. But it's just now that you mention this Truss's name, now you're getting political, right? It's fucking crazy how what these people kind of section off as being political, right? It seems like, unless you mention like a specific politician, these people don't think of it as being political, which I find incredibly revealing about their character.
treat it like a war debt and pay it off over 30 years and stop trying to pay it off like Sunak says in 5 years by taxing us to death.
Liz Truss.
I mean, I'll happily just tax you to death just for the sake of it, just out of spite. Just tax these people entirely out of spite for no other reason at all.
It feels like a continuation of the government that was already in place. She was part of the cabinet. She didn't resign, so it feels like we'll just carry on, much the same vein we were in before. Whether or not she has the ability or know-how to change anything remains to be seen. But I am dubious.
Do you back Truss over Sunak then?
Yeah.
Would you vote for Liz Truss in the
Yeah.
next election? What have you had to make any kind of lifestyle changes, cut back on anything?
Not yet, but we will do. I mean, eventually it will be, look, I'm not probably saving anything on a month-to-month basis now. So after a while, that could get concerning. I imagine it's still going to get worse over the next 6 to 9 months. So there will definitely be cutbacks at some point.
His ISA is going to have slightly less money in it.
Not at the moment, only because I don't have to pay bills.
Oh.
So, my sister and I have a flat, and we rent it, and we pay the mortgage, but my sister's fiance pays for the bills. So I'm actually slightly isolated from the increasing costs at the moment.
No, that's a good deal.
Worked out in my favour for sure.
For people who are perhaps.
Well, at least he's not trying to say that that's somehow what everybody else should do. He's like, I'm lucky to be in this position, right? At least he understands that, which is more than we can say for a lot of people here.
Below average wage with like price of food skyrocketing, gas going up,
It's
etc.
horrible, of course. I can imagine. Like, I think, as you say, like I'm in quite a lucky position compared to quite a lot of people. And when you say that, of course, like people are in a lot worse a position. But I just think with everything that's happened with COVID, I think we kind of all knew this was coming, but I didn't think it would be this bad.
Yeah. Shop as smart as possible, whether it's going to a supermarket towards the end of the day and have more reduced prices, or going to some more budget supermarkets. Quality of the food in some of the budget supermarkets is actually considerably higher than some people think.
We're already all shopping at Aldi and Lidl. Like, there's no cheaper supermarket than we're already buying the food at. Like, I understand he's saying when you don't have to shop at Tesco, but most people who are on the bottom line, who feel the biggest pinch because of the cost of living crisis, they're already doing everything, right? Like, it's famously like Jack Monroe, when he's just saying like the square root of 0 is still 0. Not in those words specifically, but like, you can't, once you're already in debt because of the bills that you have to pay for, you can't budget your way out of that. You just continue going into further debt, right?
But unfortunately, there will be households that are having to choose between food and energy in the winter. I mean, the winter is really going to be compounded quite significantly.
I mean, I think it's trying to manage where you can be less frivolous as possible. But apart from that, it's just like, hopefully this is a short-term thing. Though there could be a recession as well, which means it might even get even more tough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The tips are, what I try to do is just make sure I am comfortable with what I'm doing. I don't have debts apart from a mortgage, and I try and keep it simple when it comes to financial healthcare. But everyone has a different circumstance, so it's really hard. I mean, giving tips is, you really got to know people's circumstances, right? For that, and
of course,
it's impossible.
This guy seems pretty switched on, right? He seems pretty understanding at the very least that everyone's situation is different, which is far more than you can say for fucking boomer cunt at the start.
I just try to keep things simple and make sure I don't have too much debt on me. Plus, I'm quite old, so I've only got about 10 years left.
Is your Netflix subscription an added luxury? Maybe, but it's also not going to make any difference if you give up that very small subscription to the general cost of living crisis. What's going to make a difference is the government putting a stop to the increase in VAT, a stop to the ridiculously high tax on petrol. The rising inflation is a pretty difficult subject to tackle. there's no easy solution for it. Absolutely.
Yes, there is. It's called nationalisation, fucker.
I don't expect the government to come up with the perfect solution, but stopping national insurance rises, stopping duty on fuel going up so quickly, and also, I think the government just have a responsibility generally to not make such flippant comments about reducing, your subscription to Netflix and avocado on toast, which has become.
This guy's definitely the most switched on of what we've heard so far. Like, he may not be as politically in tune to understand that the real solution is just nationalise it, fuck it, just bring it into public control.
A joke of the whole thing.
Go ADF.
But I don't think that's going to help at all.
Just like the fucking boomer guy is just like I do find it funny that people are struggling with bills, yet they have Sky Sports and they have Netflix. I'm like, you're laughing at people struggling to be able to feed their fucking kids, mate. What a piece of shit! What a bellend. But again, I think I'm just going to kind of reiterate what I said during that video there. When, like, if you're watching that, these are the people who get served by the current political current political landscape, because these are the people that are forever politically engaged, right? They understand their own material needs and they vote in accordance with their material needs, and they engage in political discourse in accordance with their material needs. So if you don't do that, and you're one of the people like me who earns fucking a quarter of what they do, then if you're not politically engaged, then people won't pander to you. It's the same with young people, right? Young people are the lowest voter demographic, so no one's going to care about what you think when it comes to election day. They're going to start appealing to actual swing voters. So, I mean, to be fair, even when young people do vote, people don't appeal to them because they all fucking vote left wing anyway, because they should. So it's difficult either way, but regardless of what situation that you're in, if you're somebody who is, on the median income or lower, or even around the median income as well, you've got to engage with politics in accordance with the material interests. Otherwise, it's fuckers like this, fuckers in the city who earn 80k a year who will dictate the terms of what actually happens in our political process, right? 26% of the Conservative Party are landlords. Why do you think that we've had, why do you think we've had, a kind of political policy platform that has been ripe for landlordism, where there's no social housing being built to undercut the rent of social housing and things like that, to be able to keep rents low and to be able to make sure that the cost of living, at least for housing, isn't too high, because that system entirely preferences the people who the Tory party are there to line the pockets off, right? And Labour coming up to us and saying, "Oh well, we also believe in the power of business, and we're turning into the party of business." Well, then you don't represent my material interest anymore. I'm sorry, that's just the case. So yeah, get involved, get politically motivated, and understand that you need to make your voice heard, so that people will make policy in your best interests rather than trying to appeal to these fuckers instead. And again, please do like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Please feed in to the algorithm, as always.